Huh? 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 Huh?
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Pop-Tart Blender YouTube channel. Nope, this is not a joke, this is not a meme. I'm actually coming back to YouTube to post a couple extra videos that I think need to be posted on here. Now, I don't want to go into detail why I went off of YouTube, but it was a lot of family outings, a grandma nearly dying to cancer, and a lot of bad things that happened to me to make me not want to do YouTube for over a year and a half. So I'm just going to put this happy crap aside and get straight to the point of the video. If you've ever played Pavlov VR before, you might have stumbled across the custom game modes bar, and in that custom game modes bar, there is a game mode called PavZ. This game mode generally combines VR and DayZ into one custom game mode that is fun for everyone to play. But through the months of me playing PavZ, I've come to a lot of problems with loot spawning, people being generally toxic, and a lot of things that need to be rolled out in this next custom idea that I brought up with myself. With Pavlov finally coming out of beta, I generally think it's time for PavZ to get a general update in which spawn locations are now a thing. If you've ever played PavZ in general, you might have come across a game mode for Battle Royale. This game mode would sit you and 9 other players inside of an arena with a massive map and tons of loot for you to pick up, weapons, grenades, and healing items. You may be asking, how does this come into play with PavZ? Well, I think the random spawning locations and how you can spawn Kevlar vest, guns, grenades, and healing items out of thin air can be used for good in PavZ. If you've ever played PavZ before, you know the only way to get loot is out of boxes and oil containers. Well, in this next update, I present to you the new way of spawning loot inside of houses and generally around the map. The first way to make this update become a thing is to 1. Put shelves in houses around the map. Second, you have to make it so that loot will spawn on these shelves every 5 minutes, and the loot has to be random. It can either be a grenade, a gun, ammunition, or it can be a Kevlar vest or helmet. The shelves can be in varying places around the map, like the 2 houses with the green crates in it on the opposing sides of the map, in Big Town or in Small Town. You can also put these shelves in those random little houses you can see around the map. This gives the players the opportunity to see their loot before picking up this said loot. And we can also make it so that 2 shelves spawn in the bottom floor of the house and 2 more in the top floor of a house. For example, one of the buildings in Big Town is a 4-story building that has tons of crates in it. This house can be found on the outskirts of Big Town and is generally one of the best areas to get loot from. But what if we added a shelf to add 2 extra random items on these shelves at the top of the house, on the 4th floor? This would make looting way easier, and it would give the player an opportunity to see what they're trying to get. If they see something that they like, they can pick it up and use it. If they don't want to use it, they can pick it up and throw it out a window, or they can save it for later. And if you've ever been to PavZ on the PC version of Pavlov, you would note that there were a lot of less crate spawning areas, but there's an extra town behind Big Town. Which brings me to my next subject, the 3rd and final town to complete PavZ as a whole. Don't get me wrong, this town isn't big in its slightest. It only has about 4 to 5 houses, but it would give players an extra opportunity to spawn away from the combat. This 3rd house is along the road out of Big Town through the back. There's already a house with a car there, but what if we gave it a couple extra houses on the way up to the green crate on the top of the hill, and allow players to spawn in this town? This would make the map look a lot more interesting and make it look like there's a lot less patchy areas just filled with crude oil crates and boxes. And it would give players an excuse to run all the way back there to get away from whoever they're running from, and or to give players a small bit of breathing room when they're trying to loot in this said town. This ultimately would make the game mode way more fun, more diverse, and more original. Also, I think there's enough room off to the left of Small Town and off to the right of Big Town for there to be a monument. There have been leaks on the Pavlov Discord showing that someone is working on a monument for a new PavZ map. But what if we got that same developer on the old PavZ map and got them to build that same monument that they've been currently building into the old PavZ map that is currently in the game? In my opinion, I just think it would be super cool for there to be a massive monument players would be fighting over and generally just be PvPing to take control of this monument. And yes, this monument would have a couple of green crates, normal crates, crude oil barrels, and shelves for loot to spawn in. So, in my opinion, this would be the perfect roundup to the final update for PavZ. This would be a long time coming, as in development stages for Pavlov. It takes them about 6 months to push out a new update, but I think it could get done in a couple months with the way that this is just one map, and they've already updated the map to give it a new ground layout and a good, dusty area on the ground for a new walk area. So yeah, that just shows that they can work on the map, but they just haven't done anything with the map. I think this idea would be a great implementation to the PavZ community and its map. It would make the game so much more fun to use, and it would make the game so much more fun to have friends in with and team up with other people to discover what the monument is like, how the new loot spawning system works, and how the map has changed over the past couple of months. So yeah, that's about it from me for here. If you guys liked this, I would greatly appreciate a thumbs up and a cool little smack of the subscribe button. And if you think this is a perfect representation of how PavZ could be perfectly implemented into the newest and full version of Pavlov on the Quest 2, go ahead and share this with a couple of the moderators and a couple of the map makers for PavZ. I think they would take great interest of this idea, and they would take great interest of helping make PavZ the greatest I think it could be. Well, that's enough out of me. Thank you guys so much for coming out and giving this video a listen. And if you really think this video is a really good representation of what PavZ truly could become, go ahead and share this with a couple of the moderators on the Discord. I think they would really love this idea, and I think they would really love how this update could come to make PavZ the best it could be in the next update. Thank you guys so much for coming out and watching my video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!
Actually, excuse me right now.